Hi, I'm Diane Macedo. We want to get right to breaking news. Dallas law enforcement is responding to a shooting at an ICE facility. Police say a shooter is down from a self-inflicted injury after at least 3 people were shot. Let's bring in ABC's chief investigative correspondent Aaron Katersky and former FBI agent Brad Garrett for more. Aaron, what do we know so far?
So far, Diane, we understand that the shooting occurred in a Sallyport area of this ICE facility in Dallas. It appears that several people have been shot, some fatally, according to Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem a short while ago. The shooter is dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound on the roof of a building, and so it appears that the shooter, believed to be a young man, maybe in his 20s or 30s, according to sources, was positioned as sniper-type fire. We're still waiting for law enforcement officials to confirm all of this, but that does appear to be the case. The shooter is dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound. Several people have been shot, some fatally, others rushed to the hospital with injuries. No idea yet who exactly has been shot. We just heard the acting director of ICE say that this occurred in a Sallyport area where they do move detainees, but we're waiting for officials to say for sure who the victims are here.
Brad, what do you think investigators are looking into at this early stage?
To make sure that it's just one person. Now, they're only talking about one that Aaron mentioned, but the issue quickly is they're going to have to sweep all the other buildings in the proximity of where this shooting occurred. And they're also going to have to quickly figure out who this guy is, where he's from, who he's connected to. Typically, as we've talked so many times, these are lone actors. And my guess is that only based on what we know at this moment, that that's the case here, but you can't rule it out until you know. And of course, the second question would be, who was his target? I mean, certainly suggestions would be Sallyport at 7 a.m., which is typically shift changes for many law enforcement agencies. So we don't know the answer to that yet, but I would be interested to know more about that.
And Aaron, Homeland Security Secretary Kristi Noem just tweeted about this. What's she saying?
She's saying that confirming the shooting at the ICE detention facility in Dallas. She says details are still emerging, but there are multiple injuries and fatalities. As we've reported, the shooter is deceased by a self-inflicted gunshot wound, according to the Homeland Security Secretary's tweet. And she says, we don't know the motive yet. We know that our ICE law enforcement is facing unprecedented violence against them. It must stop. This is the second shooting at an ICE facility. There was one in the El Paso area not long ago that I think you and I discussed, Diane. So we know that ICE has come under threat, has come under attack, but even the Homeland Security Secretary concedes they don't know the motive. Was the shooter aiming for ICE agents or at the detainees that they deal with? Those are two different things, but it may not make a difference at this point. The shooter is dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound found on a rooftop.
And Brad, how does that change the investigation? The fact that the shooter here is dead, at least according to law enforcement, that was the shooter. And so if you don't have someone to question, how does that change the investigation?
Well, it only changes it in that you don't have a live body to interview. But based on his age, I'm going to guess he has a social media profile of some sort. So there probably is going to be information. It may be specific, it may not. But I don't think it'll take them very long to figure this out. Only because, Diane, if you're willing to get on a roof and start shooting folks, whether they're folks in an immigration status or it's ICE officers, then you went there probably as a suicide mission, because let's face it, most of these type of shootings tend to be that he went there, committed this act, and then ended his own life. So as I mentioned earlier, the real key is, who is he, and do they know at least enough to say he's a lone actor? But put in the background together probably won't be that difficult.
And we're seeing new live pictures at and near the scene there. Aaron, what are you watching for next?
Well, we're waiting to see if the authorities are going to establish anything on motive. Undoubtedly, with the shooter dead of a self-inflicted gunshot wound, they'll be able to quickly perhaps figure out who it is, immediately start digging into social media, try to contact known associates, and they'll try and figure out if they can establish a motive here. But the immediate thing, as Brad suggests, is to make sure there was just one shooter and that there is not any larger plot. If this was targeted at ICE specifically, imagine ICE facilities all over the country are going to be placed on a higher alert. Certainly protocol for moving detainees out in the open, that may end up changing as well.
All right, Aaron Katersky, Brad Garrett, thank you both.